We're joined now by Nancy Cahalen, Better Business Bureau. And listen, I gotta tell you, some of you may not know this, but I collect some weird stuff, particularly back in the day. A lot of my pop culture items that I just loved that stuff. Now you know how you get some of that stuff is that you just type into the old Googleator, hey, I'm looking for the following movie poster, and some of the things that will pop up are places where, oh, yeah, hey, we're auctioning that off, right? You go to one of those auction websites and, oh, okay, great. Listen, I can put my bid in on this old movie poster or this old movie magazine or whatever it was that I was looking for at the time. Well, you got it. As Nancy is going to tell us, this is one of those things where if you're doing that, you got to make sure that you're dealing with the right auction websites that you can trust. Nancy, thanks so much for being with us again.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. But don't place that bid yet, Hank. Make sure it's not an auction scam, okay? So slow down. And, it's a great way, auctions, a great way to buy some expensive items at a significant discount. However, guess who knows about this, and they know that the promise of a good deal is an excellent way to lure in unsuspecting victims. So even if the auction appears legitimate, potential bidders should be wary. So BBB Scam Tracker, we've received several reports of fake auctions phishing for consumers' personal information and money. So this is how it works. So you see an ad for a website auctioning cars, motorhomes, boats, or other big-ticket items. You visit the website and everything seems legit. The site even might claim to be affiliated with the government. I think we've all seen that, government auction of vehicles or, boats or whatever. So you register to bid, which may include sending the auctioneer a copy of your driver's license along with some other sensitive personal information. So, red flag. I have to get a sound effect for the red flags, don't you think?
We will work on that. We'll put it down.
Okay, all right. So, after you register, you place a bid on an item. And to your surprise, you win the bid for a price that seems almost too good to be true. So that sound would be right now, too. Big red flag. The auctioneer gives you instructions on how to transfer the money. And once you've paid, the auctioneer will likely disappear and become impossible to contact. The item you won is never delivered, and you gave money and personal information to a scammer. So this is, unfortunately, a story that we hear often. And one consumer reported the following experience. They saw a pop-up ad for an auction website. They'd been looking for an RV. They were retired. They thought, oh, wouldn't this be great? We finally have the time. We're going to travel in an RV. So they saw this RV at a price they couldn't pass up. And the minimum starting bid was only $23,000. And they thought, that's pretty cheap for a high-end unit. So when the bidding was coming to an end, they jumped on board and were very excited when they thought they had won. They wired $28,000 and the RV never showed up. And that is a sizable chunk of money for anybody to lose. But these retirees, it really put a crimp on their plans. So, when you're buying something high priced like that, or a boat, or, auctions are pretty common. So you need to take steps to avoid those scams.
Yeah, $28,000. You know what's funny is you're absolutely right. So this is a sizable chunk of money to lose. But of course, what they thought was they were getting this great deal, and I guess that is the allure of the auction, is that you can get a great deal. They can't believe their luck, and then, oh boy, it turns out to be that scam, and then you're out the money. You feel foolish, and as you just said, this was your dream to go traveling around in the RV. All right, so how do we protect ourselves?
Well, before you get involved, research the auction and the auctioneer. So if the auction claims to be a government auction, reach out to the branch of the government that they claim to be hosting the event to make sure it's legitimate. And if you're looking at a private auction or an auction run by a private company, look into the auctioneer ahead of time. Do they have appropriate licensing? If the answer is no, walk away. Uh, Get to know the terms and conditions of the auction. These are very important too. Find out whether there are any entry fees, winning bidder fees, taxes, or shipping costs you'll be responsible for. So oftentimes these are big surprises. You win the bid, but then it costs double by the time you end up paying all these fees. Winning an auction may not be as simple as paying the price you offered. So do your homework ahead of time so you don't have a nasty surprise later. And don't give in to bidders' excitement. Don't make impulse buys when participating in auctions. Scammers are counting on you to get wrapped up in the excitement and even, believe it or not, might prod you with fake bidding war to get more money out of you. So that's something we've seen as well. So even when you're on a reputable auction site, set a spending limit and stick to it. They're counting on you to get swept away in the excitement and overbid for something.
Yeah, I can see that. That scammer is sitting there going, okay. Even with the RV, I mean, 28,000 is a lot to lose. I suppose it could have been worse. What if the scammer goes, oh, I'll just put in a bid of 29,000 because I bet their limit is going to be 30 or 32, or they're kind of feeling you out, or whatever the case may be. They could have been out even more money. The bidder's excitement is real. What else keeps us safe?
Well, understand how the auction site works. Check each auction website's rules and policies. They vary. And pay attention to what buyer protections the auctioneer has in place. What policies apply if the item's not delivered or is significantly different than what was described. So that's the problem too. Sometimes things show up, but it's not what you thought you were bidding on. And find out how payments are made. Know how and who you'll pay before you place a bid. If the seller insists on using a payment method that you're unfamiliar with, do some research. If the payment service doesn't have a customer service line and you can't contact them to find out details about how it works, walk away.
There you go.
And so check the seller's contact information. The same goes for the seller or auctioneer. Check it out. Check their website. Look for valid contact information. If something goes wrong, you want to be able to contact these people, and oftentimes there is no other way to contact them. And be very careful about divulging your personal information. So once you give it out, you can't get it back.
Yeah, that is so. Yeah, that is so true. There is no undo button for that one. And the thing is that what helps, these folks with the RV, by their reporting that helps others, because then or that auction site gets put on the list of, hey, this is bogus, this is a scam. Stay away. So it really does help when people report those.
Absolutely, it really does. Hank, I'm on every week, and there's no shortage of scams to talk about. So a lot of these people are unfamiliar with. I didn't realize that this was such a big problem until I started doing the research. And it's one of the items in our online purchase scams category, and that's the number one category, the riskiest scam out there for consumers.
Very good. Nancy Cahalen's the president and CEO, Better Business Bureau, serving Central and Western Massachusetts and Northeastern Connecticut. Nancy, as always, bbb.org, best way to keep up with what's happening?
Yes, bbb.org will give you tons of really useful information. But if you need to speak to a live human being, call me directly, 508-552-0350.
Excellent. Nancy Cahalen, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.